Test, 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 test. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 24th Annual American Cancer Society Harrison County Relay for Life. This is the 24th day we've done it, another opportunity we take this evening. Well, you know, I like to think with the medical advancements that we've had in recent years that we really do have our foot on cancer's throat. Tonight we're going to push a little bit more. Tell you what, we're going to start out the evening in an appropriate way. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the beautiful voice of Jenny Hyatt with her rendition of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and
Thank you very much, Jenny, as always beautiful. And now, it's my privilege to introduce to you, do we have our speakers on there? Are we going? Okay. Now it's my privilege to introduce to you the mayor of the maiden city of Cynthiana, the very honorable Mr. James Smith, for our invocation.
Thank you, Doug. It's always a pleasure to be here, although I wish they'd find a cure for cancer tomorrow and we wouldn't have to do this anymore. But we do, and so I'd ask you to all join me in prayer. Dear God, we come to you tonight humbled as we walk around this courthouse, seeing the luminaries, the pinwheels, the candles burning. We do this in memory of those that we have lost to cancer. We do it in honor of those who have survived. But we ask you tonight to help us, God. Help us as a nation. Help us as a world. Help us as a body of human beings who is continually losing people to this horrible disease to find a cure. I ask that the money raised tonight, not just here, but at little events like this all over the nation, that you would just take that and you would multiply it in a mighty way. You would use it in such a way that we would come a little bit closer when we come together again next year, a little bit closer to a cure. We pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Mayor, very much. Thank you, sir. I called Biden and asked him to close 27 tonight, and he said I didn't call in time, so we'll have to put up with a little traffic, maybe some sirens from time to time. But, you know, just thinking, and by the way, on a personal note, I have to mention this lectern here. It's, we put it in the courthouse back in the late 70s, and it's Thaxter Sims' podium. And if you know me very well, you know that the law firm of Swinford and Sims, Thaxter's firm, was a big part of my life. I just had to say something about that. I haven't seen this for a while. I'm glad we still have it around the courthouse. Thaxter practiced in Cynthiana for about 51 years. And Janet over there knows a little bit about that because her beloved sister worked at our law firm for a number of years. God bless her. You know, you think, to pick up on what the mayor said there, it is miraculous what we've seen in the development of techniques, scientifically and medically, technologically, for the early diagnosis and cure of cancer. And I remember my father was a kidney patient. He had kidney disease the last 15 or 20 years of his life. And because of modern technology and science and medicine, his life was prolonged so that he could live out some dreams that he wanted to do, such as the work in state government, be in the state senate representing us. And I got to, you know, I was thinking one time we were sitting in the living room and he said, you know, Doug, the good old days are now when it comes to this stuff. And that's true of cancer and cancer research. The good old days are now, and the reason I say that is because while we will memorialize and remember and mourn, of course, those on some of the names on these luminaries that are no longer with us, we also are about survivors tonight. A lot of survivors that maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago, even 10 years ago, would not be here. And at this time, we're going to recognize the survivors. And if you're a cancer survivor, I'm going to ask you, if you would please, to come forward here. And I will say you this, folks, you'll notice right off the bat, we don't have near as many survivors here tonight as we used to. That's due to several reasons. One reason is because we got so much going on in our little town anymore, you can't get it all done and everybody can't go to everything. The other reason is that these cancer survivors are out doing those things and living their lives. And if they're happy tonight, I'd rather they be out doing that than be here with us, because I know they're with us. So if you're a cancer survivor, please come forward now. We're going to recognize you. We've got some gift bags over here. Carol Ann is going to help orchestrate that. Sir, I'll just start with you. And if you can bear being interviewed, you got to earn your gift bag by answering a few questions. Just come on up here forward, sir, if you would. We'll just pick on you first. I know all of you, or most of you, but I'm going to ask you your name anyway, sir.
William Blackford.
William, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good to see you here tonight.
Thank you.
You're glad to be here tonight, too,
I'm
aren't you?
very glad to be here. Yes.
Tell us about your experience with cancer.
Well, back in 2011, had no idea what head cancer does run in my family. Off and on, I was having stomach cramps at times, like in the automobile or in the truck, or like sitting there. You know, most of the time when I was sitting down, the doctor, I had a physical done every year. If I physical blood work and everything done. Had it done in March. I went back to see him and so my thyroid numbers was off, and I went back to see him the 1st of May of 2011, and he asked me if I'd ever had a colonoscopy. I said no. He said, well, when you turned 50, he didn't think nothing, had no idea. Nothing showed up on the blood work. Had a colonoscopy done in June in Lexington. They found a mass, couldn't even do the colonoscopy. It was so bad.
Scary stuff.
It was. So I spent 10 days at St. Joe Hospital.
What is your status now? They cut it out of you?
Yeah, they took out 12 inches of the lower part of my colon, 41 lymph nodes, because he said if it had gone through the colon wall, and if it had spread, it would have gone to the lymph nodes next, and so he took out 41 of them, but it had not spread too bad, so I did still see an oncologist. I had scans for the first 3 years, it was like every 3 months, 6 months, then to a year, but then it stopped in 2015, but I'm still going once a year. I go to September the 3rd to see if it had blood work, to make sure.
So far, so good. Good news, good to see you. Fine family in our county, the Blackburns. Come forward, man. Take your time. I ran out of cord here. Hold on. Maybe I got more cord. Marshall, you got me on the screen here. I'm used to the court thing. Okay. Good evening, ma'am. Hi, Donna, how are you? You mind telling us about your deal with cancer?
I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin
Sorry about that.
in '78, and they thought they had gotten it all. 3 years later, I came back, Hodgkin's disease, and so they treated it as a really toxic disease. Did well for about 38 years, and then last spring, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And they think that was from the radiation I took when I had Hodgkin's.
A lot of work to do. I've been for the last several years, right?
It's toxic.
Since you were 19. Man, you're great. There you go.
You introduced yourself, didn't you go right there, get a white gift bag, you come to the table and stand there, and after everyone's introduced, those of us that, wanna walk and take the survival after you walk. I'm a survivor.
Yes. You know, she's so vital that I don't see her as a survivor, really, I don't. I'll talk to you. You talk to me about your situation on the radio, but let's do it again for a minute, okay? Tell us about your experience with cancer.
17 years, breast cancer.
17 years.
17.
Right now, it's going to go looking good, right?
Yes, it is. Every year you get a checkup.
And you've been doing your part to help others with the Relay for Life for a number of years, right?
Yes, I have 17 years since I was diagnosed.
Thank you, Carolyn. You appreciate it. I want to recognize all you people later on. Come on forward, folks. Okay. I'll speak to you first, ma'am. Your name, please. Amanda, tell us about this situation.
I was diagnosed
16 months ago, so you're kind of in the middle of things still, I guess, right? What kind of treatment regimen are you going through now? Chemo, radiation?
Hey, I'm great for her. I had lymphoma, kind of prepared me for what she's prepared. Good Lord blessed us with some.
So you've had lymphoma,
Yeah.
and you're in remission now?
Right. I got diagnosed in 2018, so I got treatment and it's time to help her with my issues. A little bit about what it is, but go through cancer.
There you go, the Lord's giving you some strength, He's been doing nothing there, and you will too, okay? There you go.
Praise
Come on.
God.
Praise God.
Praise God.
Come forward, man, please. How you tonight?
I'm not right.
You look all right.
Thanks.
Tell us about your experience with cancer, man.
Well, I'll be a survivor 6 years in December. And I had breast cancer. And I had a scare about 6 months ago when I
You're never totally free of the thought, though, are you?
No. I'm scared when you go back to different parts.
Well, you keep having those mammograms and keep after it, okay? Thank you. Now, don't forget to go over here, each one of you. Carolyn reminded us that you've got something for you over here.
Hello.
I wear pink for me. How about that? How are you tonight, ma'am?
I'm good. Vicky Cantu, 5 years breast cancer survivor.
Congratulations on being a survivor. And you're on the roll now as far as you know.
Up until April of next year.
Till
I'm
April.
taking the pill for 5 years and then I get to go off of it.
You took, say that.
I'm taking the pill for 5 years. It's a cancer, the pre-cancer thing. Because it can come back in 5 years. So,
That's the thing about it, the ghost never leaves you, does it? No. Well, hey, we think it's gone for good. Okay, go get you a gift card over there. Thank you. Hey, how are you tonight?
I'm good, how are you?
Good to see you.
How you doing? At 30, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I had a,
It's all right. You take your time. You're brave to even, what you've gone through, folks, is bravery in and of itself. But to come out here and talk about it and share it with others and to be an inspiration is important. Have you found your strength?
oh yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right, go.
I had a 4-year-old and a 6-week-old who was last year. So relays are important people. Keep it going.
There you go.
42-year cancer survivor. See, I just told my age. I was 30 and I was 42 now, so. But thank God I'm blessed and I'm out there doing what cancer survivors do. You just keep on keeping on. I started Relay for Life.
There you go. That's right. That's what he's saying. And you say you lost a son to cancer too, right?
Last year.
Well, cancer hasn't stolen your smile.
No, I keep it.
Keep fighting. Thank you. How you doing, sir? Papal C, the man, the myth, the legend. Who's Papal are you?
I got great grandkids.
Well, you're here to see him too.
Well, I was diagnosed with cancer 13 years ago. And I had flare-ups every 3 months for about 7 years. And in 5 years, I was cancer-free. And about 3 months ago, came back, and I've been operated on 4 times for the last 3 months.
So you're still kind of playing the wait-and-see game, aren't you?
Oh, yes, but I'm still kicking, still kicking.
You keep right on kicking there, Papal. How many grandkids you got?
16.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
And one great grand.
I got a great grand.
Are you 110 or what?
No, I'm just 83.
Just 83, there you go. Are you gonna talk to me too, man? You had to do it also? Tell us about your experience. 45 years? What type of cancer did you have?
I had cancer of the womb.
And what is your situation now with cancer?
And I had breast cancer 4 years ago.
Well, 6 weeks last then.
Yeah.
And have they worked on you? You got you straightened out? You know what your future is like?
Yeah, I've been cancer free.
There you go, bravo. Great job. Keep fighting, okay? Keep taking care of yourself. Yeah. Gentlemen, I spoke to you. So you got all the grandchildren too?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanksgiving's interesting. How you, man?
I had thyroid cancer in '09, but I just had to have one radiation treatment, and I'm still cancer-free.
Well, you thought about it, didn't you?
Yes,
That's very important, right?
yes, I went for MRI for a pinched nerve in my neck and didn't know there was anything at all on the thyroid, and all of that showed, so it was just divine intervention.
It certainly was, and, well, intelligent intervention on your part to go and see. You got that. What was your name again, man? Barbara, congratulations. You took this as a gift. How you doing, my friend?
All right.
I know you've been telling your name.
Raymond?
Raymond, and I think we've interviewed before at these Relay for Life before, Raymond, but tell me again about your battle with cancer.
I had prostate cancer 8 years ago, and I was lucky they got it all, and it came back on me, and I had cancer in my left kidney.
kidney cancer this past April.
Well, they took it out, and I'm cancer-free. I'm a native of Carson County, and I'm proud to be here tonight.
Proud to have you here, sir. Thank you. You're an inspiration. There you go. Do we have any more survivors? People deserve a round of applause and our support. And let's hear it. I tell you what, you know, a lot of these folks, when you get up close and talk to them, you can see, at least I always thought I've been able to see, somebody, especially veterans, you can see people that have had to look death in the eye, okay, and that had to contemplate their own mortality. And, you know, when the doctor comes in and says, well, we know what it is, it's a cancer, these folks never knew what to think from day one. And you can see we had different results from different people here. I think one important thing to remember, and I just forgot the lady's name, to mention that she had thyroid cancer and that it was remediated with early treatment. Boy, folks, I tell you, if it don't look right, go to the doctor. Okay, Carol Ann, we're going to do the lap. Okay, I was just giving you time to get everybody lined up. At this time, part of the, well, really the more emotional part of Relay for Life each and every year is the Survivors Lap. And at this time, the survivors that we talk to and any other survivors or family members in support that want to join in, Carol Ann's over there orchestrating the Survivors Lap around our courthouse here. And I will shut down here for a moment and let that occur. Carol Ann, you ready to go? Okay. As soon as the survivors make their lap around the courthouse and come back, we'll be back with more of the 2021 Harrison County Relay for Life. Okay, I believe we have everyone back now. Continuing with our program now, ladies and gentlemen, once again, the 2021 Harrison County Relay for Life. The theme this year is Never Lose Hope, and I'm hoping that, I know we had some, hearing problems here, but I'm hoping that each one of us could hear the survivors and the things they had to say when I interviewed them a moment ago, because those are certainly folks that never lose hope, and that's what it's all about, hope and money. As I say, our big target is cancer, and money is the bullets that we use. And I want to mention, really, it's not on the program here, but I want to mention it anyway. There are some folks, a committee of a bunch of co-chairmen that have handled Relay for Life this year, and two of them are here tonight. I know Carol Ann Doyle is here. You'll be talking to Carol Ann here in a moment. And Judy Faulkner. Judy, who are you? Who are you, Judy? Judy? There she is. And I know there are a host of others, but I know that those two ladies kind of spearheaded things and in large part are responsible for our relay this year. So give them a round of applause, please, really, please. Also, when they did the coffee break show with me earlier this week, we were talking about obviously the money thing. And, even though the Relay for Life that we see here tonight, the event, if you will, is not near as large and somewhat protracted compared to earlier years, the money still flowed in this year. And Bourbon County, which traditionally had a Relay for Life program like we did not have one. I don't know if it was last year's money or this year's money, but they gave their money to us. And it was somewhere, y'all correct me, Carol Ann and Judy, if I'm not getting this right, they're having their picture taken over here for the Democrats, so they're smiling. Nice look, ladies, nice look indeed. I don't know about you, you got a photographer over there, we'll see how good he is. It was upward of 30,000 that we got from Bourbon County, right? 35,000, Judy tells me. Okay, there's some other people that we need to thank, and they are our sponsors this year for Relay for Life. First of all, the Harrison County Fiscal Court. All right. The Harrison County Fiscal Court, your magistrates, and Judge Alex Barnett, Dr. George Frazier, the dentist, Kentucky Bank. In-kind sponsors are WCYN, and of course we're on YouTube tonight, thanks to WCYN and Marshall Canup here. The Cynthiana Democrat, and of course the Democrat photographer, Lee Kendall, is here. One of the hats he wears as a Democrat is the cameraman. He does a lot of other stuff too. Even plays some golf sometimes. Kiwanis Club, we want to thank them for being a sponsor. The mayor of Cynthiana, James Smith, was here to give us our invocation, and we want to thank the mayor for his support. County Judge Executive Alex Barnett, I mentioned already in the fiscal court. The Cynthiana Young Professionals Group. And then a special thank you as far as tonight's program goes. You've already heard the magnificent voice of Jenny Hyatt with our national anthem. Thank you, Jenny. Beautiful job as always. Thank you very much, and thank you for letting me use your PA, okay? I won't sing, don't worry. Okay. Rebecca Combs will be providing some special music for us, and you'll enjoy that. Anita Forsyth, who I was just talking to over here. Yes, for you older people, she's Elwood's niece. had to say it. Former jailer of Harrison County. Anita Forsyth is a cancer survivor, and she's our featured speaker and will tell us her story tonight. Nicole Hicks here, she's also taken some pictures. She's our photographer. And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you, as you found out earlier, a cancer survivor herself, one of our co-chairmen this year, and I think at 2 times in the past, a cancer survivor featured speaker at Relay for Life, a very brave woman. And hey, Carol Ann, thank you again for all your good work, and there's a microphone, ma'am.
All right, and there's a light.
You got a light too, there you go.
There you go. Thank you. This ceremony is an opportunity to remember all those we've lost. It's also a chance to celebrate their lives. Tonight, let us celebrate and honor the lives of not only our valiant cancer survivors, but also those who are no longer with us. Cancer shows no preference. It strikes children, adults, family, co-workers, and friends. Tonight, let us pay tribute to those we love and all whose lives have been touched by cancer. As we begin this ceremony, the 24th
year of our relay here in Harrison County. Let us join in a moment of silence to remember why each one of us relay. We'll have just a moment of silence. I am honored to introduce to you this evening our special honorary survivor, Anita Forsyth. Anita is a 2016 breast cancer survivor. She lives in Harrison County with her husband, Wes. They own a leather shop and raise beef cattle. She enjoys gardening and spending time outdoors with her animals. She will now share her story with us. Anita?
Yeah, I think so. Let me start by saying how honored I am to have been asked to share my cancer story with you this evening. Public speaking is definitely not my comfort zone. I'm used to pacing and waving my arms when I talk, so please bear with me. I appreciate Molly Smith giving me this opportunity. This week marks my 5th year anniversary of my lumpectomy. So I have many emotions this week, and I'll try not to cry on you. Having grown up with elderly parents, I have always tried to take good care of myself and make sure I had regular doctor's visits and mammograms. I've always been one to have lots of lumps and bumps that needed to be checked on, and being a huge coffee drinker, that didn't help my situation. I had a regular doctor's appointment scheduled when I found my lump. During a shower self-exam, I had one of those, oh my gosh, where did that come from moments. I've had mammogram scares before, but not something that I found. It scared me. I did not tell anyone for many days until I waited for my doctor's appointment. I kept the secret from my husband, from my family, and from my friends. I went into Dr. Clark's office for a routine exam and told him what I had found, and he scheduled me to see a surgeon. At that point, I had to come clean with my husband because I hadn't told him. I guess I thought by not telling anyone, it might just go away. Again, those emotions. My appointment time came, and my husband and I went in to the doctor. It was quickly decided I needed a biopsy and that it would need to be scheduled right away. Dr. Reed's wonderful office staff went into gear and got my biopsy scheduled right then and in the office with little prep. So now came the wait. Over a July 4th holiday, time was so slow. My appointment time came with the results, and Dr. Reed had to tell me the news. You can't prepare yourself for the emotions when you're told you have breast cancer, or any cancer. I was scared, crushed, sad, angry, felt a little sorry for myself. At that point, I was told I needed surgery. I was scheduled for August. I live on a farm. I have a small leather shop. No time to schedule this is good. I worked to prepare for being down, not knowing my course of treatment. When surgery time came around and I was wheeled in, I didn't know if I would have a lumpectomy or a mastectomy. Taking a couple of lymph nodes determined what my surgery would be, and my cancer had not spread to my lymph nodes, so I received a lumpectomy. Oncology course of action had me getting a port, starting 4 rounds of chemo, 1 round every 3 weeks. I had a wonderful support system of other ladies that had went through the same thing. I got lots of tips on being sick, what to do, what to eat, made things just as smooth as possible. I read every piece of information I could find on breast cancer, tried to educate myself about what to expect and how things would work in treatment. I asked a ton of questions to others that had the same diagnosis and treatment. Chemo gave me a few challenges. Mostly the metal taste my coffee tasted the day after infusion was the worst. I got a lot of tips on nausea, Ginger Snap stayed by my recliner. Okay. The Neulasta shot after infusion to keep my counts up wasn't fun, but those friends that were keeping me up to date on tips helped me beat the side effects. Of course, there was the hair loss. My husband and I help with the Big Horror and Paranormal Convention in Lexington each fall. And my first treatment I got, my hair wasn't supposed to fall out till after we got back from the convention. But I ordered a couple of hats just in case. And as soon as we pulled in the parking lot, my hair started falling out. So I had to wear hats all weekend long. And when we got back home, I gave my clippers to my husband and we sat out in the yard and shaved my head. I will admit I thought I would be tough through that, but I cried. He cried. I think even the dog cried that night. But it was just hair. I will say the only thing I minded about the shaved head was winter was coming. I live on a farm. My head was going to be cold. But the shampoo cost went way down, and I had a beautiful bald head, or at least I thought I did. I had so many crocheted hats gifted to me during this time. Hats that came to me from all over and were made with so much love. My most prized one I got came from Canada. My friend made me a chicken hat. I'm always posting pictures of my chickens. So she got a pattern and taught herself how to make a chicken hat. It's beautiful. I also got a Walking Dead hat, which, hey, Cynthiana. Over the years, I've re-gifted some of my prized hats to fellow ladies that have found themselves in the same position I was in. Plain hats, colorful hats, sparkly hats. I know they love them just as much as I did, but my Walking Dead hat and my chicken hat, those are some of my prized possessions, and I got to keep those. After 4 rounds of chemo, it was determined I would get 15 rounds of radiation. I chose to go to Central Baptist. They gave me the same personalized treatment I got in my hometown, but boy, that drive to Lexington every day for 15 days in December was hard. But I never did it alone. With January coming, my final course of action was 6 months of chemo pills. I was starting a new deductible year, and these bottles are pretty expensive. So Matt at Clinic Pharmacy went to work for me. He didn't even know me, but Whitney from my oncology office got him involved on my behalf, and he got my high deductible covered through the Susan Komen Fund and even offered to come in on a Sunday for me to get my pills. After lots of follow-up appointments and routine tests, I have been good for a while now. Hearing those words, "You are in remission," reminds you to be blessed every day. I had and have an army behind me. The staff at Harrison Memorial Hospital, Dr. Clark's office, Dr. Reed and his staff, oncology, Dr. DeSimone at the time, Dr. Sapp now, Whitney, who I love to death, Vicki, Mary, I could go on and on. The infusion department. Those girls made a very scary thing not be so bad. They were always making sure that everything was going well with me. I ended up with lymphedema, swelling from the lymph node removal. So that led me to Susan Isaac, who is one amazing lady and has helped me so much. After working with me in the office, she thought I would be a good candidate for upper body lymphedema pump that I could use at home. This has helped me treat the swelling and do it all at home. The staff at physical therapy helped me get back on physical track. I know I'm leaving someone out. My good friend Bev told me this after she heard my diagnosis. It is not your cancer. She told me that when my feet hit the floor in the morning, say that out loud and believe it every day. I'm so blessed to have so many friends and family that have helped me through this. The calls, text messages, care packages, meals, visits, going with me to appointments, and most of all, the shoulders. Finding others that give good advice to help you with your treatment is so helpful. I think when we share things, it helps us see the light at the end of the tunnel. My family and friends were key. They picked up all the pieces and helped me take one day at a time. My husband kept me grounded on days I wanted to scream or cry or feel sorry for myself. He was always there and let me know I was not alone in my fight. He never missed an appointment, was always there teasing me, getting my mind off what was happening. Even though during radiation he had to be on the farm and in our shop, he made sure I never went by myself. One part he thoroughly enjoyed, though, was the naps. My doctor told me to listen to my body, and if I was tired and needed a nap, to take one. My husband thought that was his key, too, so he would take naps with me. My breast cancer journey kept me local, with few things having to be done in bigger facilities, having that friendly, caring face on a doctor's visit, while being hooked to chemo, or while being put under for surgery, lets you focus on beating the cancer. My story is, I am the youngest of 5 girls, born in a farming family, and married in a farming family. We didn't have a history of breast cancer. Get those regular checkups, never take good health for granted, and make every day count. Giving up was never an option for me. I have things to do, animals to take care of, and gardening to tend. One thing that has stuck with me: be thankful for every day you get and tell those you love how much they mean to you. We have a special town, special people, and special hospital facilities. Never lose the hope. God bless you all.
Good job. Thank you. Anita Forsyth. And I tell you, folks, I know the lady that I interviewed sitting there. I know she just had a recent diagnosis and is concerned. These other folks, you can get some inspiration from them folks, like the lady that just spoke. Okay, Carol Ann. Now we are going to have, Jenny is going to sing, is that right? Rebecca, excuse me, I'm sorry. Rebecca Combs, excuse me. Rebecca Combs is going to entertain us now with some very, very special music. And I've heard Rebecca before, so folks, this will be very good. Don't mean to put the pressure on you, Rebecca. You want your microphone back that I stole from you?
Please. Thank you.
Just
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Anita, also for sharing your story. All of us have an important reason to participate in Relay. It's time to reflect on how this terrible disease has touched each of us personally. And it's time for us to look inside ourselves with quiet reflection and to find hope. We all share the hope that we will one day live in a world where generations to come will never hear the words, "You have cancer." I would like to share a poem with you that's entitled A Poem of Hope. It's written by a young girl in Belarus, Russia. We're dedicating this poem to all those who are fighting back against cancer. A poem of hope. One song can spark a moment. One flower can wake the dream. One tree can start a forest. One bird can herald spring. One smile begins a friendship. One hand clasp lifts a soul. One star can guide a ship at sea. One word can frame the goal. One vote will change a nation. One sunbeam lights a room. One candle wipes out darkness. One laugh will conquer gloom. One step must start each journey. One word must start each prayer. One hope will raise our spirits. One touch can show we care. One voice can speak with wisdom. One heart can know what's true. One life can make the difference. You see, it's up to you. It's up to each one of us. We are the hope. All of us have an important reason to participate in the relay. It's time to see how this terrible disease has touched us. We all share the hope that we will one day live in the world where we'll no longer hear the words, "You have cancer." At this time, we're going to honor those who have provided the gift of hope to so many people. Rebecca.
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make your heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say were wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream them loud tonight, or can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on, starting right now. I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. Losing friends and I'm chasing sleep, and everybody's worried about me. I'm in too deep. They say I'm in too deep. It's been 2 years, I miss my home. But there's fire burning in my bones. I still believe. Yeah, I still believe in all those things I didn't say. The wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream them loud tonight. Oh, can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match. I can make an explosion. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. Oh, my power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I still got a lot of fight left in me. A lot of fight left in me.
At this time, I'll read the names in honor of those that have provided us with the gift of hope. Linda Adams, Debbie Whitaker Bryant, Jack Brown, William Blackburn, Billy Bradford, Josh Bryant, Diane Copes, Chuck Cooper, Lisa Harp Case, Carolyn Combs, Whitney Connor, Carol Ann Doyle, Bradley Dennis, David Keith Doyle, Darrell Dunaway, Randall Dennis, Larry England, Larry Franklin, James Carl Gray, Paula McNabb Taylor Haviland, Mackenzie Hall, Christy Hall, Barry Hill, J.R. Hill, Patty Hannah, Billy Jenkins, Lois Judy, Jane Ann Jenkins, Lee Lyons, Ralph Lawrence, Tim Levi, Tommy Levi, Sam Levi, Tracy Lucky, Annie Lucky, Marcia Jenkins Moses, Pat Mansour, Kyle McCarty, Charles McKinney, Minnie McKinney, Anna E. Oakley, Jean Polly, Carolyn Palmer, Kathy Peevler, Amanda Perry, Grady Perry, Jennifer Renaker, Joni Ramos, Freddie Roberts, Dolores Seaman, Michael Seaman, Thomas Seaman, James T. Swinford, Bill Scott, Steve Strazel, Jan Stumbo, Jim Snodgrass, Carol Sosby, Cheryl Straub, Jimmy Sellers, Donna Williams, Lee Williams, Tony Worrell, Erline Worth. Those are the names in honor of.
One step, then two, then a million more. Sunday morning, you walk the old wood floor to lift a song to heaven and let your praises ring. Let him use your life and hear the choir sing. Well done, dear faithful one. Though the mountains were steep and the race is rough, see the Father's smile, Father and the Son.
in memory of Henry Alls, Charlie Antle, Bessie Antle, Chip Adams, Welburn Adams Jr., Blaine Adams, Geneva Bussell, Helen Batt, Mary L. Browning, Dorothy Belcher, Kenny Burden, Ruth Barnett, Frank Baker, Bobby Crum, B. Courtney, Norma Cooper, Leon Curtis, Jean Cooper, Pam Tuttle Carroll, Edna Connor, Clemon Combs, David Doyle, Donnie Doyle, Shirley Downs, Larry Davis, Flossie Davis, Richard Dennis, Brenda Hill Dennis, Charles Dennis, Mary Jo Dennis, Helen Dixon, Pat Scully Ezreal, Jimmy Embry, Phyllis Embry, Rua Clayton Faulkner, Emma Lee Farrell, Libby Florence, Donald Garnsey, Kathy Griffith, Mary Grucella, Jack Hanna, Raymond Hurst, Rena Beth McNabb Hughes, Verda Haviland, Claude Hickson, Dorothy Harp, Beth Hunsinger, Jimmy Houston, Frank Hill, Geneva Ishmael, Can Johnson, James E. Johnson, Bill Jenkins, Juanita Jenkins, Lorena B. Johnson, Eleanor Kearns, Greg Kearns, Addie Cook, Gus Cook, Loretta Kearns, Judy Mitchell Letcher, Betty Lyons, Garnet R. Lucky, Garnet Link, Jim Lee, Bernice Levi, Bonnie Levi, Eloise Little, Rex Lawrence, James McGee, Patsy McGee, Margaret McGee, Raymond McGee, Robert McGee, Diana Monroe, David Monroe, Ruth Jenkins McNabb, Paul Donnie McNabb, Sue McNabb, Hattie McKinley, Huck McCarty, Cookie McIntosh, James McKinney, Betty McKinney, Russell McKinney, Dorothy Noakes, John Noakes, Johnny Noakes, Ann Northam, Marilyn O'Brien, Donald Palmer, Gary Ross Price, Una Jean Price, Noel Phillips Jr., Barbara Phillips, Arnita Plowman, Margaret McKinney Phillips, Harold Brightmeyer, Linda Rose, Philip Ritchie, Richard Lee Ritchie Jr., Keith Royce, Nellie June Roberts, Donald Seaman, John Seaman Sr., John Seaman Jr., Alma Schroff, Barbara Snodgrass, Dawn Snodgrass, Jill Shirley, Barbara Snowpeck, Lola Strazel, Bill Scott, Rob Straub, Fern Stamper, Alice Sorrell, Donna K. Straub, Elizabeth Spence, Lorena Casey Taylor, Frankie Taylor, Freddie Taylor, Donnie Taylor, Betsy Thompson, Lula Thompson, Henry B. Tackett, Don Tucker, Niall Toll, Lee Tracy, Teresa Taylor, Owen Vance, Georgina Weber, Jeanette Worrell, Ruth Works, Leroy Speck Whitaker, Fred Whitson, Freddie Whitson Jr., Eileen Brogel Whitecotton, Colleen Watchter, Larry Watchter, Jody Watchter, Morris Yeager, in memory of our beloved pets. How appropriate. Amity Johnson, Sam Johnson, Stanley Price Case, Roger Browning, Lewis Browning, Sassy Harrington, Rocky Judy, Trip Sosby, and Abby Sosby. At this time, we're going to take the silent memory lap around the courthouse. Those of you that want to make the journey will silently walk around and look at the luminarias that have been purchased in memory and in honor of. And then after we've all made it back around, then we'll have some closing words and wish you a good night. So at this time, I would invite everyone to join together as we walk. We'll go to the left there, my left. observe a silent lap around the courthouse in honor and memory of someone that has battled cancer.
courthouse yard tomorrow to pick, for you to pick them up. Is that right? Come up here and do this right, Judy. I will now be corrected. You notice when that dog went by, how he acted when he saw the mayor? It tells you something about the mayor, don't it?
I look horrible. I'm a little sweaty.
That's all right. She doesn't think that she's presentable, but here she is.
Okay, the lanterns will be taken tonight by us, and we will contact you to get them to you somehow. The bags and the pinwheels you can take tonight, or you have until noon tomorrow to pick them up. Just come and pick them up. You don't have to check with anyone.
There you go. She just came over and whispered about 5 minutes of that in my ear, and I said, like I'm going to remember that. Now here's the big news, folks. Here's the big, big news, and this is why we're here tonight. And again, thanks to everyone for helping out and fighting cancer. Hopefully, there'll be a day when we talk about cancer like polio and smallpox and other things. That's something that used to happen to people. But this year, Harrison County's Relay for Life has generated $47,792.37. And I say the cents because I've said it before, 1 penny is going to be the one that does it someday, okay? So maybe it's your penny, maybe it's not. But once again, we thank everyone. And hey, you know, we all participate in Relay for Life because we're looking for hope and hope for a cure. But until that day, let's all battle on. Let's all continue to be united against cancer. Let's get others united with us. And we will all continue to walk because there's no finish line until we find a cure. And once again, we thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for taking another stab at cancer with us. And to all your survivors, Godspeed to each and every one of you. Thank you, folks.